unity in the fires of hope and prayer. With boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT3 Net Radio.
Yes! Hey! We ready now. We ready now. This is Peter C and the Exotic Family. We ready now. Hey. We ready now. Whoa. 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 Na 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 na. Whoa. 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 Na 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 na. Hey, raise your leg again, turn around again, drop it down again, jump up and raise your leg again, turn around again, drop it down again. Hey, this dance is about nothing. Man, you doing anything. Make your body jump and sway until lily. Hey, bumpers on the left, bumpers on the right, bumpers rolling in the day, bumpers in the night. Bumpers want to play, bumpers want to fight. You don't want to lose your bumper, hold it tight. Raise your leg again, turn around again, drop it down again, jump up and raise your leg again, turn around again. Drop it down again, jump up and take. Whoa, yes. Looking good, you know. But get ready to walk. Get ready to walk. Hey, let me walk. Walk a mile and a half. Walk a mile and a half. Walk a mile and a half. And run a mile and a half. Run a mile and a half. Run a mile and a half. And jump a mile and a half. Jump a mile and a half, jump a mile and a half until wave a mile and a half, wave a mile and a half, wave a mile and a half until hey, kitchen and they tell you so, and now that he leave and go, he tell me to run this show until listen to my instruction, Bumpers want to fight. You don't want to lose your bumper. Hold it tight. Raise your leg and then turn around and then drop it down and then and jump up and raise your leg and then turn around and then drop it down and then
Wake
jump up and
Rise up. It's the Net Radio
Yes.
Breakfast Show. Bringing you the energy, music,
Yes.
and vibes to start your day right.
Yes. Hey, we ready now. We ready now. This is Peter C and the Ecstatic Family. We ready now. We ready now.
Yes, we are. We ready now. And I hope that you are ready too. It's a Friday. Good morning, everybody, wherever you may be. Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Neighbors in the Caribbean, good morning. All our friends and family that are streaming all around this beautiful planet. A very special good morning to you as we head straight into the weekend. I'm hoping your weekend is going to be a fantastic one. Let me say much thanks to the Heavenly Father, as always, for bringing us together for another day and everything that we do there, God. Let it be a blessing on to you. Yeah. Of course, you're listening to New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, the pride and joy as we take you above and beyond. People, I'm your story, Sir Charles. Happy am I to be in your company. And of course, on this beautiful day, we got our entire team coming in. Hope the entire team will be in. Welcome to the Get Up and Go. This is the Breakfast Show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning, good morning. Oh my word. Richard, up your microphone. Richard is talking and we are not hearing him. Richard, your microphone is
I
busy.
know. You know what that is? That is when you're scrambling.
Oh my word.
I was moving so late this morning. So I was trying to get everything in place. And Mr. Wendell Stevens sent a barrage of videos to Charles.
Last minute?
Yeah, I got about 2 this morning. Like he was up like 1 o'clock this morning. And I got about 2 videos. So I was just downloading videos. I don't even know what the videos are about. And when I play them, they will just be, I will be surprised at what I'm seeing too. So I hope it happens. I hope they're not with cursing and stuff like that. I have no clue. I didn't vet nothing.
Well,
But
let's
good morning. Of course, to our listeners and viewers, wherever you are, across the planet. Of course, it is Friday. The weekend has begun. And we love a Friday on the Breakfast Show. We do. And so I'm just glad that Friday is here. The weekend is here. Always celebrate weekends. Celebrate life. And good morning to you, Sir Charles. And of course, Wendell. I'm not so sure. Look, Wendell, thing's now coming in. So good morning to you and Wendell.
Don't scrambling in.
Good morning, Wendell.
Good morning, Richard Raghubar. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe.
Wendell, I was telling Sir Charles and the listening and viewing audience that you sent a barrage of videos this morning at 1 o'clock this morning via email. I said, obviously, you were still up, you ain't sleeping. And
I sent a funny one and one that we could use as good news. The good news one is the one with the Prime Minister. The last one I would have sent. You could use that as good news.
Okay, I got that one, but you sent that was late last night. But this morning you sent 2.
What do I send this morning? You going crazy or just so? Are you just accusing me of sending things in them hours in the morning?
I'm going to take a snapshot of the emails.
I go to check now. I can't remember what I sent you. I must have been sending you to sleep
Well,
away.
Well, Richard, now you can't afford to play that because it may not have been intended for you.
No. What is about this man who got across by his neighbor to tell him
Right. You sent that at
password.
1:19. You sent that at 1:19 a.m.
Right. And what's the other one? The other one had to be, it's 2 with the Prime Minister. It's one with her young brother and one with her actually playing a pan.
Well, one is 1:24, one is 1:19, and one was 7:53 p.m. last night. There is another one too. That came in at 5:38 p.m.
What?
I tell you, it's a barrage. I was making joke.
The phone doing its own thing there.
Well, it must be that. Oh, I put one, mark one as good news, eh?
But the one that is the Prime Minister is the one that you put for good news.
Oh no,
Well,
that
I
was
have
yesterday. That was pan in Manhattan. Not that pan in Times Square. That one was yesterday too. All right.
No, it's
In
only
any event, you could safely play them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't send you stuff that you can't play.
But I mean, I downloaded the one anyway.
Yeah. But I find the one with the Wi-Fi so funny. I say, Richard, that's the Richard type of humor. You know? But it's good to be in the land of the living. Of course, I'm still in recovery mode, people. So please forgive me for my nasal voice and whatever else happens during the course of the morning. Don't worry, I'll get enough rest soon enough. Happy birthday to whose birthday is it today? Today is August 15th.
Yes.
Yeah, whose birthday is it today? I have one birthday of note. But I like your tune of choice today, Sir Charles. Pastor Lewis was up today, man.
We would have shaken him up this morning.
I call him Pastor Lewis, you know. Because of course he
Changing and transitioning.
Yeah, he's a good praise worshiper, boy.
Yeah.
He's one of the best. You know?
Excellent.
Yeah. Morning, Pastor Peter Lewis. And of course, morning
and he has a name, you know, like that would suit like those those modern day church pastors, you know.
preachers.
He has that kind of a name already.
But I have one of them creating some waves in America right now because
Bishop Peter Lewis.
Yeah, he had that kind of name. Or Deacon Peter Lewis or something.
Yeah, Deacon.
You know? He more sound like an Archbishop Peter Lewis. Peter C. Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah, he had that kind of finish. Anyway, morning, Peter C.
What is the one that creating waves in America saying?
Oh gosh, it started to go viral yesterday. Well, it's almost like preaching. Well, it's like going way back in the days where women had no rights and women can't talk. He is pushing that agenda and he is gaining traction, and apparently he's a fan of Donald Trump, the president.
Is that an old video?
I'm not sure. I got it recent.
Isn't he? He's a black preacher, right?
No, a white man.
Okay, because I saw one with a black preacher man doing that. But that was around the election time.
Right. No, this one is recent news in America. I don't know how I didn't manage to send that, but I looked at that in awe. I said, it really have people like that living around Silver?
You'd be surprised.
Women.
There's some people like that, Wendell.
They want to take away women's rights to vote and all kind of thing again.
Humanity have extremists in all kind of strange directions, you know.
My God.
But ultimately, in a patriarchal society, well, which is what a lot of societies are. And America, more than most, remember, America has never had a female president.
Yes.
Many other countries have had female leaders at the top of the ticket.
Yeah.
Whether it be England, whether it be Germany, they've had it, not United States.
True, that's true.
So I'm sure that there's something along. Remember, women had to fight to vote fight.
Yes.
But they had to fight to vote in that particular kind of way. The suffragette movement.
Yes.
In the United States had to really, you remember, and they went through a lot of abuse.
Yes.
Also from men and women about wanting the right to vote.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. This person, as I say, I can't remember the guy's name, but he also had the support of a high official in the Trump government who praised him publicly. I mean, he was saying things like, no decision. He is the only one to make a decision in the House. He will consult with them, but at the end of the day, he's the only one to vocalize that decision in his household. That is the kind of thing people talking still. And as I said, he is getting a huge following in the United States because of his preachings. Because he's preaching, There's all in the name of God,
You'd be surprised the level of tolerance that people would be showing, but underlying with their true nature.
Yeah. That's the name Lawrence. Thanks. Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, is supporting the man, is praising the man. That's the name I remember. I can't remember the preacher's name though. But you're right, it's Pete Hegseth who is supporting him. I looked at these things in awe. I said, wow, okay. We must live a real good life here,
The land of the free.
Mm-hmm. That's what they call him, free and brave. Well, a lot of them more brave than free. Anyway,
good news.
We'll wait on Richard. Doug Wilson is the preacher's name. Thank you very much, whoever Lawrence is. Thank you very much.
The commentary section on top of it, boy.
Yes. Whoever Lawrence is, it's a name that I don't know. It's a name that I've not seen before. But that person has the information down pat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I live next door. I've got problems with the I live next door. I've got problems with the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so why are you here to me?
Well, it's your Wi-Fi, isn't it? Have you done something?
Okay, but I've not got a problem with my Wi-Fi.
Well, I've got problems with your Wi-Fi. You've put a password on it.
What do you mean?
Look, how long have I been here now? I've been here 2 years. I've happily used the Wi-Fi, and now I see that you've put a password on it, and I can't use it. I think you're being unreasonable.
Sorry, what? Sorry, wait, what? What did you say?
Look, it's very simple. you have Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah,
I've been.
I have Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, I've been happily using your Wi-Fi now for a couple of years, and all of a sudden you put a password on it, and I've got no access. I tell you what, you let me have your password, and that's the end of the problem.
Yeah, but hold a minute. You've been using my Wi-Fi.
Well, I don't know how much of your Wi-Fi it is. I mean, it's a signal, isn't it? Right? Well, the signal doesn't remain just within your four walls. So what comes out here is public. It's on public property, right? It's public. So I can use the signal.
But now you can't because I put a password on it.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. So look, there's two things we can do. One is, and I think the easiest thing is, let me have your password. Or, of course, you can always remove your password. I mean, it's just pretty easy, really. Simple as that. And that would solve the problem for both of us, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is I'm paying for it. And why? Yeah, but the thing is that okay, so I put password in it. Yeah, I put password on it because my Wi-Fi was being really slow, and my broadband suggested for me to put a password on it to make it faster. But obviously, because they thought other people were using it, and coincidentally, someone else was using it.
No, I think that's very unreasonable. I mean,
unreasonable?
there's got to be a
Wi-Fi
bit
was
of
being slow because someone else was using it, and coincidentally, it was you who was using it.
Well, it was probably me.
Yeah, we've established that. And then my Wi-Fi was being slower inside my house, so my broadband suggested to put a password on it.
Look, I don't mind how slow it runs. Actually,
No. I understand that you don't mind how slow it runs, but I do.
Well, okay, but that's the Wi-Fi within your house. What about the Wi-Fi that's coming out the walls? And that's what I'm using. I don't mind how.
A diverted plane and an.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Want to get a good news show.
I couldn't sleep as usual, and these things just coming up, and I saying, "What is this?" No, but I enjoyed the last one especially. Well, I mean, the old white man. That's typical bullfistness of some people.
Very white pride.
Yeah.
And he's so bullfist, he don't even know he's bullfist.
Yeah. And of course, the first one was Young Brother serenading the Prime Minister. Young Brother is one of my colleagues. I like the young man. That was the launch of some project yesterday, I think, under the Ministry of Public Utilities. WASA. Is it WASA? Something to do with WASA? Internship, I think.
No, Be Mobile.
Is Be Mobile?
I think it's a
internship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And of course, the other one is the Prime Minister playing pan. At least doing a good job of pretending she playing pan.
Good lip syncing.
It brought a smile to your face, and then.
Yeah, it did. So hopefully it brought a smile to her face too, because a lot of people feel this program slanted one direction. It isn't. It never will be. Not with Sir Charles and Richard.
Well, you didn't when you pay them, God.
Me? No, I
You microwaved it.
Not yet. Not yet. I always say, even if I come out of PNM politics, I won't join another political party. I won't do that.
Okay.
I won't do that.
I did not accuse you of joining another political party. I accused you of destroying your PNM card.
Somebody might actually feel about the UNT, when they see that this morning, and he had come from me.
Next thing they
You know
ask
the
you,
mischievous?
they ask you to represent in a safe seat. I'm there.
I was listening to another partner yesterday, right? Another talk show, another radio personality, well known. My compare, I could call his name, my compare, John Benoit. And he was talking about how all the mischievousness that people were carrying back news on him and so on, because he of course is one of those fearless commentators too. You know what I mean? And I say, well, I didn't even know you experienced that too. I experienced that a lot, and I really don't care. You understand?
Carry back news to who?
Carry back news to the political directorate at the time. Talking about when the last government was in power. You know what I mean? But I get that a lot. I mean, I've told you a lot of times. Dr. Rowley messaged me about and about a particular thing that I was supposed to have said on radio, and I had to go. It's a good thing the programs are recorded, and I had to go and find the program and send the recording for him. And he responded. He said, "You see how mischievous some people could be." Because something I said on radio was communicated to him completely different to what I said.
I remember that incident. I remember that.
Yes. That is how mischievous some people could be. And how fanatical and despicable some people could be. You know?
Anyhow, let's say good morning to the people in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes,
I want to say thank you to TV6. Because we used some of their footage there with the young brother.
You know, I can't thank TV6 though. Not for cricket last night, I had to switch to my Amazon Fire Stick. TV6 boldly advertised that they are going to be bringing the CPL live. They are the sole person bringing it. So they blocked all the other providers, right? And then at 7 o'clock, they brought the news at 5 o'clock. So because they want to start the cricket at 7. 7 o'clock, no cricket. I said the old cricket from last year. And I say, but wait, like rain falling? There's a partner called me, Kerry Franklin, and say, Wendell, what's going on with the cricket? I say, I don't know, rain must be falling. He said, no cricket playing. I say, you ought to be joking. Apparently, they had some issues. They never put it across the screen that they're having technical issues or whatever. They never put that. So I there watching our old last year match. It's then I messaged somebody else and they tell me how to find it on Willow TV on my Fire Stick. And I went, cricket 69 for 4 already. I missed all that cricket already, you know. Whilst TV6 struggled. And then apparently they had no volume off. When they finally got it going, there was no volume on it. But I never switched back to TV6. I was just only watching the comments and laughing because I'm watching it live on my Fire Stick without interruption. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So no thanks to TV6. I don't know what problem they had. They never explained it up until I switched off from them. They never explained what was going on. So say what? I'm sure a lot of cricket CPL fans would have encountered the same thing. Joyce Phillip, top of the morning, guys, even though she sent it last night. But that's all right, Joyce. Thank you. Margaret Thomas, blessed morning. You ready, Richard? You're not highlighting anything yet. Suzanne Jessup says, God's love, grace, blessings to Charles, Richard, and Wendell. Valerie Mendoza out there in Orlando, still having an enjoyable time. I'm sure you do. You are. Ron DeSantis Jr. from Norfolk, Virginia. I saw something coming out of Norfolk, Virginia news last night, Ron, and I thought about you immediately. I can't remember what it was. Boy Bidesi from Debe, the safest place in the country where there's no gangs and no drug block. Good morning, everyone. Morning, boy. Wendy and James, Wendy and Frank James, that is from Arangwes. The weekend is here. Marcia Rock from Orlando, Florida, where Valerie is. She can hook up with Marcia. Donna Ramlo-Chan says, good morning, Sir Charles, Wendell, and Richard, and all on the live. Ava Smith also says, good morning, and have an enjoyable Friday. Sherwin and Juliet Kerr, morning to the breakfast team.
Morning, Sherwin and Juliet.
Have a fantastic day and weekend. Marlon Motley also says,
morning, Marlon.
Norris Ferguson says, good morning, everyone. Odell Guy. CJ from New York says, thank God it's Friday. Don't forget to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. I have a word. Richard, you had a patent that.
Morning, CJ.
Mr. Robert Taylor from Fernandina Beach in Port Florida. Rena Buru says a happy and safe weekend. Katian Charles from Cascade. Ozzy Molino. Trinidad Margot, Marlene Saunders Sowers, another day above ground. I'm sure I saw that name before, but I haven't seen it for a while. Pamela Grimshaw, Blessings to the best trio on radio. Anthony Tinto from Canada, Grand Rising. Lambert Bruce from El Dorado. Susan Jessup says, tune, Sir Charles. Yes, that was Archbishop Peter C. Lewis in the house this morning. Michael, well, he forget to say Sankofa say this morning. No. Bountiful graces and blessings, everyone. Kurt Hope, good morning to each and everyone here. Have a great weekend. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan.
Morning, Michael.
Mo Gaines, thank God it's Friday. Stellar Services from New York City. Mo Gaines, Wendell is sleepy, man. That's quite possible I was. Good morning, gentlemen and crew from Slick Money Grip. Sankofa say, Wendell, you find... Okay. Doreen Pierre, good morning, breakfast crew. Sankofa says he was at Rumbox. And when I tell you the drinks are beastly cold in the heat of the tongue, your thirst quencher is at Rumbox. Trust me, well, we can use that as an ad, Sankofa. Well said. Howard Hernandez, a white... Yes, that's what I was talking about this morning. Christu says, Grand Rising, folks, Wendell, I sent you a story about the federal takeover of DC police. We spoke about it, I think, yesterday, or day before, right? And Lawrence gave me the names of the defense secretary and the preacher. Sankofa say religions and creator God are poles apart. Michael Cadet, good morning to everyone. Mrs. R said, love this youth. I'm so she's talking about young brother.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Gavin Frank says, good morning. Lincoln, greetings from New York City. Sankofa also says, typical European boldfacedness. Good morning, guys, from Julia S. Batiste.
Good morning, Julia.
Blackwell is asking if the PM actually played in the pan. I think she was pretending, but she did a good job at it. Esther Sampson, good morning. That Wi-Fi discussion was a waste of energy. Why? It's funny, today's Friday. You know? All right, where are we going? Marlon Mockley says, that second clip is hilarious. Man, real bold-faced and extremely entitled. Yeah, sure, right. To go across by the neighbor and tell him he can't get onto his Wi-Fi anymore. Ava Smith, Wendell, wow, today is Laughing Friday. Good morning, guys from Beauty Culture. Lester Cragwell, she looks good playing. Jason Samuel, see if you can get a sleep doctor or somnologist on the show. Somnologist, okay, I never heard that name before. I'll have to check it out. Robert Harper says, good morning, gentlemen. Mrs. R is agreeing with me about cricket. Patricia D4 says, not even an apology from TV6. Exactly. I don't understand that. Melchizedek says, good morning, guys. Beauty Culture, that's Trinidad TV service for you. David McCarthy says, top of the day, the terrific trio. Mrs. Harris continuing to chat. Jasodra Ram Kalawan, good morning, guys. You like the new, I think that's the initiative you're trying to say, that the PM took with the young people yesterday. Anthony Atwell, greetings from
That's the mobile thing, right? Yeah. Isn't it?
Yeah?
That's not the Be Mobile thing they're talking about.
Is it Basso or Be Mobile? I'm not sure, you know.
I think it's Be Mobile. Weren't they in green?
They were in green, but as if I remember it being a WASA initiative. I'm not sure. Somebody's going to put it on the chat.
Yeah, I'm doubting. Okay.
Yeah, somebody's going to put it on the chat. Shirma Paul says, good morning, guys. Have a lovely day. Chelsea Blue says, morning, it's Friday. Magic says, Grand Rising, gentlemen and breakfast crew. James Kamal, Grand Rising, TNT. Trini in Boston, who I think I met once at the Savannah. Was it you, Trini in Boston? Great morning, beautiful people. I think it was you and your daughter I met in the Savannah one time. And TV6 could not say... Yeah, they actually advertised the day before, Ms. Sampson, that the news will be at 5 instead of 7. Raymond Small, good morning, gents. Hope to know you, Wendell, someday soon. Okay, hope to meet me, I guess. Yes, hope to meet me. Yes. Okay, Raymond Small. Evans David, good morning, guys. Mrs. R said 10:02 the audio returned, and she's saying it's B-Mobile, Richard. Blessed morning to all. It was a B-Mobile event. All right. So thanks very much, folks who reached out. It was in fact a B-Mobile event, Richard. You're correct. Yep. So that's it. Trini in Boston confirms it was her I met. I remember a very pretty red-skinned woman and her daughter. I remember that.
All right. So Yeah, I can go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. So good morning to Kent. Good morning to Mr. Billy. Good morning to the folks out there in Ethiopia, Captain Ron's team. Also, Captain Ron, who is back home in Orlando. And Carlin in Caranage, good day to you. Oliver Manwarin, good morning. Terry and Peters, blessed day to you. Frank out there in Aruka. Zena is up very early. Good morning to you, Zena. Charmin out there in New York, blessed day to you. And everybody else on the stream and on the chats, good morning.
Yep. And once again, morning, Archbishop Peter C. Lewis. Everybody said me that it was in fact a day mobile event. I think it's a 3 weeks something for young people. They were mostly only teenagers there yesterday, I saw.
Well, I saw that they had some of the cricketers and stuff like Dwayne Bravo and stuff.
Yeah, Dwayne Bravo has been appearing a lot with the Prime Minister since he took office. He's been with other ministers too. I think he posed for a photo with Mr. Padarat and Mr. Dr. Munilal also already too. You know?
Yeah. You know what I was trying to think of when you were talking about the white preacher, Doug Wilson or whatever his name is, and talking about making women, I suppose that women not having the right to vote. Is that what he said?
Well, I think that was one of the things he spoke about. It was a lot of other things. If you could find the clip and probably play it, because I mean I don't know if we want to promote that, because he talking, I don't know what it is he talking in this day and age. You understand?
It almost sounds like, you know, it almost sounds like a real life enactment of the Handmaid's Tale. Is it the Handmaid's Tale? The Handmaid's Tale. That showed a future America where women's rights were severely. It was almost like it went back to the 18th or 17th century or something like that.
But to me, that is what he preaching. When I listened to him, to me, that is what he was preaching. You know, and as I say, he's getting a lot of traction with it. And as I say, even this Pete Hexet guy came out and publicly praised him. You know, I said, "Wow, where are we going with this?"
Well, where we are going, we need to go for a commercial break and come back.
Yeah, man.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
San Fernando, get ready. The Roadie One-Man Show is coming to the Southland. Sunday the 17th of August at Sapa. Tickets available at all K-Squared locations. At Police by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street and San Fernando. Sapa box office from the 14th of August and Island Eat tickets online. For more information and box office inquiries, call 682-0467 or 683-4843. This show is strictly 18 years and over. The Roadie One-Man Show is heading to the Southland.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Finally, a line of baking products that caters for the gluten-free, cholesterol-free, egg-free, and dairy-free person, enriched with sesame, flax meal, and chai seeds. Also try our line of seasonings and spices that are ideal for diabetic, kidney, heart, colon, and hypertensive persons. Perfect for the whole family. Healthy O, the healthier way to go. Find it in a supermarket near you.
You know, as I see those ads, let me say good morning to Manu. Manu's from on Park Street in Port of
Manu's
Morning, Manus. You know where I remember going those mornings because I was the one charged with going out for the sandwiches for Richard and for David, a guy called David Muhammad. You know, and I used to when I walk in there, Manus, he always used to have this long line, and he would watch me and say, "Hey, man, come up this side," because he know very well that is a short window of opportunity I have when I come there to get those sandwiches, get back to Paul Warner to go up in the tea room. First, we're gonna drop David on fame. So while news going on, David eating these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sometimes sandwiches, and Richard and I eating the one each upstairs in the tea room. That was my responsibility. Manos, good morning. You save so many lives in the morning. Yeah. Every morning they have long lines inside of Manos on
Manos is the best.
So people, whenever you're in Port of Spain, go check out Manos on Park Street.
Yeah.
And tell them the breakfast team send all for the Manos.
Just put up your hand and say, "Hey, breakfast show." And Manos will pull you up the side, and trust you might get a sandwich free that day.
The go-to was always fried bacon cheese.
Fried bacon cheese.
That was the go-to. But what I also love by Mano is the sada and
the bygone too, man.
I like the sada and the
sada and some sort of
the sada and body and the sada and spinach.
Yes, which I think that have no taste. You say
I like the sada and body, and I like the sada and spinach.
Yeah,
I find those two. I of the breakfast places I've experienced, I think Mano's for me makes the best sada and body and sada and spinach.
Yeah.
So when I tried it other places, it's never the same.
Certainly
the best body. I like those as breakfast stuff.
If I was in Port of Spain like today at lunchtime, I was going for a nice curry goat.
Yeah. You know who always is there? Brian Lewis, the alderman in Port of Spain. He lives in Manos. He lives inside of Manos. Morning, Brian.
Mr. Dialzing.
Dialz, the former minister. Yeah, he always is there too. You're right.
You can always see him having lunch or breakfast by Manos.
Morning.
Go check out Manos.
Yeah. All right, let me go straight into the headlines of today's Express. Do they want us to start begging? CPEP workers denied assistance. That's one of the trending stories. 300 vials of fentanyl missing. Where could that be? You see the effects of fentanyl? Have you seen the videos of what it's doing to people around the world? Wow. It's like it's zombies, you know. Man feared drown at Toko's Death Beach. Of course, that's a young man from right here in Malabar. Akbar Ali Chase, on one of those roads in Malabar. He got into difficulty yesterday, and he is suspected to have drowned. The Maracas victim was unknown bully. They says he always beating up people, so that is why they gang up on him and cut his tail. 2-year wait ends as police shows up with report. That's today's Express.
All right, so I will go to Newsday and tell you what the headlines are there. So the main headline is hotelier, government, private sector collaboration can increase Tobago tourist arrivals. U.S. imposes visa restrictions on Grenada, Africa, Cuba officials. Back to school, booksellers worry about delays at the ports. Kamala hails India's Independence Day. And CXC results are out on August 15th, which is today. And 6 Venezuelans held in Prague in a carcass, and CVAP contractor appeals High Court stay of its lawsuit. And there is now a new NID board that's been appointed. That's it. So news over to you on The Guardian now, Mr. Charles, with the headlines in The Guardian.
Very much. So in The Guardian today, migrants safe. PM says government won't engage in mass deportation of Venezuelans. PM promises reboot of youth programs with AI focus. Ex-CPEP contractor wants appeal court to weigh in on lawsuit. Ministers stand behind PM after boss head comment. Bodo reports measurable progress in health sector after first 100 days. Union leaders, ministers hold talks on contract labor, long-standing issues. And what I found was a very interesting story yesterday is a central man arrested bandit after girlfriend's jewelry was snatched.
Was that a video I sent for you also, Richard?
I don't know. It may have been.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Morning, Lincoln is the first one alerted me to that video. That incident downtown, apparently.
A lot of these snatching things taking place in Port of Spain, man. What does the city police do? They don't.
Well, police on the whole, all over the city. But I saw there were police officers there while the guy was holding the other guy, and well, I mean, they were just pictures, and they were making no move to put handcuffs. I don't even think they had handcuffs because eventually, when they put him in the back of the vehicle, they didn't handcuff him. They just put his hand behind his back and put him in the back of the vehicle. Like none of them had handcuffs. I found that crazy, and I mean that was the subject of most of the comments, that they were there just looking on while the guy had the other guy in a headlock on the ground, and the police officers were just there standing looking on, and didn't attempt to handcuff the guy.
You know, you walk through Port of Spain, you don't see the police officers. You're looking for a police in Port of Spain, some days is like trying to find a trash can.
I see police all the time. When you drive through Port of Spain, you see police all the time. I mean, a lot of them driving around with the windows up and things, but still, police, they just need to be a little more, well, let me don't say nothing about police, eh? You know how people feel about me and police.
Yeah, but the downtown area, you need foot patrols, especially where you have these kinds of incidents happening all the time. You know, you need the police to be visible on the ground.
Yeah. Because the guy ran down, apparently he snatched a bracelet from his girlfriend, and he ran him down and caught him down by Nicholas Towers and had him in a headlock on the ground. You know? Kudos to him. Well, I see a lot of people had comments about the girlfriend, what she should do with him now that he has shown that kind of love. I wish somebody could show me that kind of love sometimes.
You want more love? You're still looking for love?
I need love. You already noticed my name this morning? How come I didn't say nothing about it? All I noticed I changed my name this morning.
You're looking for somebody to call somebody punisher.
Well, I need to start punishing people. Maybe that way I will get some love.
Anyhow, that might work for you in the taboo circles.
He should take out the R in that and put a D. And
that too, I could easily be that too. I could easily be that. You know what? I'm gonna fix that next week. I feel I'm gonna fix that next week. I'm gonna take out the R and put a D in too.
The R fall out.
And I feel like I've been punished. You're very right. Oh yes. Anyway, I can't.
Let's take some calls now. Let's open up the lines.
Yeah. Today, of
let's
course,
open up the lines. So you can start calling because this is your show. Obviously, on a Friday we open up the floor to you to talk about whatever you want. So the lines are open, 281-1315, 281-1315. You can start calling in. I was looking for the video. I'm seeing like I was trying to get the video of the Doug Wilson thing.
And as I say, I'm not so sure if you want to promote that level of ignorance. But
for real. But we have the caller there, so caller, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, caller.
Yeah, it was. I watched this story yesterday with the young man who ran down the bandit and held him, and it was not well filmed because apparently the guy was unarmed. It would have had a different result that he had a small knife or something sharp on him. I'm sure. I think that we're having a different story today. And from my perspective, that is why, and often you hear police say, if these things happen in town or wherever, you allow them to go. It's property, it might probably have cash, ID. You know, it is a problem or a hassle to go and get back these things, right? You always have to wait till wherever, whether it's licensing office or ID card office for you to get these things renewed. Your bank card, you might get it back a little quicker. You know what I mean? Right? Yeah. But the other property is jewelry on money and thing, right? So it will sound well for him that apparently the man was unarmed. But I myself wouldn't do that. Given my background and so on, I still wouldn't do that. Because of how it could turn out.
And you never know if they're alone, eh? That's the problem.
Exactly, and most of these snatchers in town move in gangs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So sometimes when you run with the item, they toss it to somebody when they reach a particular distance, and then they change clothes as well. So by the time and start to work, so by the time you reach on them, they look totally different. Right? That is how we operate. I don't know if you all mentioned it, because that just came in early. But there was an interesting something I read on Facebook, so somebody shared with me, when Miss Cummings gave a long dissertation on the spate of police-involved shooting that have turned out to be killings this year, which she called extrajudicial killings. You know, it's a word that people throw around here in context. She's saying that the police...
Hello?
Well, I agree with her. Extrajudicial killings for me, she needs to look at places like Chile, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Brazil, when they were under military rule. And she's conflating extrajudicial killing with police involved shooting. I'll tell you the differences. What I've learned here over the past few weeks is that people have engaged the police with firearms, and the police shot them and they shot at the police. In my mind, extrajudicial killings in the countries that I spoke about is like this. People are arrested or picked up by the police. They never face judicial authorities and they are never seen again. And no explanation is given. And all the police involved shootings that have occurred here, our senior police officer is appointed to investigate, and an explanation is given by the police either the same day or next day via press release. And they have come swifter under the new commissioner. Extrajudicial killing for me is like the Los Desaparecidos in Chile under Pinochet, where thousands of people were just summarily picked up by the police for no reason or under sweeping powers because of martial law, and they were never heard from again. In fact, up to today, 50 years after Pinochet was killed, overthrown by, not Pinochet, Allende was killed by Pinochet and overthrown, some of the survivors' relatives still have silent protests with flowers and so on the anniversary of their abductions. Right? And I am saying for me, that is a vast difference to what happens here in terms of police-involved shootings.
Okay.
And we don't have extrajudicial killings. I mean, you tell me what CCP is of...
But we haven't proven, caller, I think it might be right to say we haven't proven that we have extrajudicial killings.
Well, I wouldn't say Richard is there. He is a lawyer. I mean, if I am wrong in how I express my view on it, you can correct me. But I'm not
saying you're wrong, you know. I'm not suggesting that you're wrong, because actually I commented on that post from Rennie comments.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, Mr. Stevens. Even in the good old days of the flying squad, the much maligned flying squad under Randolph Burroughs, can anybody say that people were abducted and never faced justice or whatever? The people are all engaged. That's how I'm saying. So I think that with a pinch of salt. I mean, I enjoy reading what she says most times, but I think she's off the mark when it comes to this one. That's what I think I'm saying. Gentlemen, have a good day.
Yeah. I'll quickly read 2 paragraphs of what Rennie wrote, because I commented on it actually. She said, "Dear TTPS," she did several posts yesterday. The one that I'm sure the scholar is speaking about, she addressed it, "Dear TTPS, while lethal force may at times be necessary in the line of duty, your primary mission is not to kill suspects. It is to catch killers. Modern policing is anchored in due process, the proportional use of force, and the fundamental principle that every suspect is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Extrajudicial killings are not policing. They are violations of both domestic law and international human rights standards. They destroy public trust, strip the police service of legitimacy, and sabotage the very investigations they claim to serve." She went on to say some other things, and I think, but I understand what the caller is saying, that we don't have the type of killings that would have occurred in some other jurisdictions where people just disappear. You know what I mean? But we haven't been able to prove extrajudicial killings. Yeah, I think that's where the issue is. We haven't been able to prove that people who have been killed by police, because we've heard a lot of stories that when police go into these neighborhoods and they shoot this person, they say the person shoot at them, and then the people in the witnesses in the place say, no, the guy never had a gun, he wasn't shooting, had his hands up. I mean, we saw a video of in the Mova shootings where the people came out of the car with their hand up and they were still shot. So we haven't proven extrajudicial killings, but that don't mean that we have not had, you know.
All right, you have a poll as yet?
Oh,
Paula, go ahead quickly. While we wait on the poll.
So
morning, Charles.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Morning, Wendell. Morning, Richard. Morning.
Morning.
Go ahead, Mr. Patrick. Morning.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Today results come out for CXC. This week I was talking to 2 young ladies, and they were very frightened and very panicky because of the results. I said, why? Because what the parents will say if they don't pass the exam. Parents always support all the children. Right? Don't come down on them. You understand? Don't do that. Don't come down on the children because they didn't pass for what you want, or the subjects you want, or the among the grades you want. They try their best. This is the beginning of the thing. This is not the end and the beginning of everything. You understand?
Okay. Mr. Patrick, thank you very much. We continue with your calls inside of the next hour.
Yeah, we could continue to take calls. My mind, as I say, ran blank for a poll. But maybe we could even poll what that caller suggested there. Do you think that we have...
Poll is already up on the screen, Wendell.
Oh, you have it? Well, you're missing an ear. Do you think there's an alarming increase in police killings? Yes or no? That's our poll this morning, all right? So we've got it. We will do it for a minute before the news, and then we'll continue to vote.
So we're going into poll time. So all the other comments we'll take after the news, right? But go ahead. Poll time, people.
Yeah. Do you think there's an alarming increase in police killings? Yes or no? Mrs. R, the day it happens to one of your family, you wouldn't put silly comments like that. Pests need to go home. You wouldn't put silly comments like that. That's a silly comment. Because the same way you don't want these guys and them killing out people, you don't want other people killing them out either. That don't make no sense. Mrs. R says no. Ron DeSantis Jr., no. Trini gets fit, yes. Diana Hamill, yes. Lenroy Cunningham, no. Chelsea Blue, yes. Slick Money Grip, no. So those are the votes we have so far. Josie Richardson says yes. Margaret Thomas also says yes. Miguel Gonzalez, no. And I guess we could break there. And when we go for the news, when we come back, we'll start from Wayne Joseph. And then we will continue to take your calls all the way up to 8 o'clock. All right? Take care.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio. I'm Derek. Economist Dr. Indira Seguin Ali is urging the energy sector to stop nitpicking and get behind the billion-dollar deal between the Trinidad and Tobago government and ExxonMobil. She says with the country's oil and gas resources dwindling, any access to new reserves is better than nothing, and the agreement brings benefits, including a $12 million signing fee, seismic studies, and $21 billion in planned exploration investment. Dr. Seguin Ali says few companies have the capacity to tap deep water resources, and Exxon's involvement could draw more bidders. She also believes Trinidad and Tobago's decades of experience mean the government likely struck a better deal than Guyana did. The Energy Chamber also welcomed the contract, saying consolidating several offshore blocks will reduce risk and speed development, while calling for continued reforms to attract investment. 2 years after a decomposed body was found on a Chatham beach, DNA results have confirmed it was missing Point Fortin woman, Averson Miller. Police and an officer from the Forensic Science Center delivered the news Thursday to Miller's eldest child, ending a long wait for answers. Miller's sister, Kelazonda Grant, had pleaded with authorities just 2 days earlier to release the results, saying the family had endured more than 2 years of uncertainty. Miller disappeared in July 2023, and Grant always believed the remains found a week later were hers. The body was too decomposed for visual identification, so tissue samples were taken from relatives for testing. Grant says she is relieved to finally have closure, but saddened by the confirmation. She says the family can now lay Miller to rest in the proper way someone should be buried. San Fernando East MP Brian Manning is warning that Trinidad and Tobago is heading for a self-inflicted recession, blaming the government's policies and a worsening shortage of foreign exchange. Speaking at a PNM public meeting in Pleasantville Tuesday night, the former minister in the Ministry of Finance said recent U.S. tariffs will intensify the foreign exchange crunch, pushing the country toward a devaluation of the TNT dollar. Manning accused the government of misleading the public about the cause of the shortage, saying supply constraints, not bias in distribution, were to blame. He also claimed the administration's honeymoon period was over, warning the opposition would not sit idly by while jobs were lost and vulnerable citizens left without support. Manning took aim at union leaders now aligned with the government and criticized the termination of thousands of CPEP and forestry workers' contracts. He also condemned the Prime Minister's past remarks about the country becoming a nation of grass cutters, calling them disrespectful. The Trinidad and Tobago National Nursing Association is defending the nurse involved in the care of 6-year-old Jasher Francois, who died earlier this month at the San Fernando Teaching Hospital. In a statement Tuesday, the association said the nurse followed all professional instructions and performed duties to an appropriate standard, given what it called systemic constraints in healthcare. It commended her professionalism and adherence to protocol. The TTNNA said magnesium sulfate administration requires strict monitoring, but safe staffing ratios make this difficult when nurses are assigned multiple critically ill patients. The group renewed its decades-long call for legally mandated patient-to-staff ratios, noting Health Minister Lakram Bodo's recent pledge to fill 1,800 nursing vacancies. The association also warned of a crisis shortage of specialized pediatric nurses and urged urgent action to expand training. A 4-member expert committee is investigating Jasher's death alongside an SWRHA probe. A second autopsy found he suffered a sudden, severe heart problem while receiving IV medication. His funeral is set for Saturday in San Fernando. In the region, the United States is sending more air and naval forces to the southern Caribbean Sea to counter what it says are threats from Latin American drug cartels. Reuters reports the Pentagon was ordered to prepare options after former President Donald Trump pushed for tougher action against gangs, now designated as global terrorist organizations. The move follows months of stepped-up U.S. military surveillance and the earlier deployment of 2 warships for anti-drug patrols. One source said the operation targets narco-terrorist groups seen as threats to U.S. national security. In February, the Trump administration labeled Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, Venezuela's Tren de Aragua, and other groups as global terrorist organizations, part of a wider crackdown on drug trafficking and border crime. Internationally, Israel's far-right finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, says plans to build more than 3,000 homes in a contested West Bank settlement will bury the idea of a Palestinian state. The E1 project between Jerusalem and Ma'ale Adumim has been frozen for decades due to international opposition. But Smotrich says connecting the settlement to Jerusalem is Zionism at its best. Critics say the plan would split the West Bank and East Jerusalem, making a future Palestinian state impossible. The US, UN, EU, and UK have urged Israel to halt the project, calling it illegal under international law. Palestinian officials denounced it as part of a broader policy of annexation, while Israeli rights groups warn it will fuel more violence. Smotrich insists no Palestinian state will ever be recognized. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, p.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
And of course, yes, you are listening to New Era TT Radio. And this is the Breakfast Show. Whenever you're hearing us on newera.ttradio.com, we stream all day, every day, public holidays, every day. We are here to keep you company. And you can get us on New Era TT Radio on TuneIn. Get us on all of your Google devices and Alexa. Okay? So before we jump back inside, let's finish pay some bills, and then we will get back to the pool and all those things that are happening inside of the breakfast show.
San Fernando, get ready. The Roadie one-man show is coming to the Southland. Sunday the 17th of August at Sapa. Tickets available at all K-Squared locations. At Police by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street and San Fernando. Sapa box office from the 14th of August and Island 8 tickets online. For more information and box office inquiries, call 682-0467 or 683-4843. This show is strictly 18 years and over. The Roadie one-man show is heading to the Southland.
Finally, a line of baking products that caters for the gluten-free, cholesterol-free, egg-free, and dairy-free person, enriched with sesame, flax meal, and chai seeds. Also try our line of seasonings and spices that are ideal for diabetic, kidney, heart, colon, and hypertensive persons. Perfect for the whole family. Healthy O, the healthier way to go. Find it in a supermarket near you.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box. So we're back with our morning poll, and our morning poll is: do you think there is an alarming increase in police killings? That's our morning poll for this morning, and we're still taking your votes, and we're about to count up those votes. Do you think there is an alarming increase in police killings? That's our poll for this morning.
All right, and we could continue from Wayne Joseph. He said no. Keller Kaufman, that's a new name, said no. Gregory Boyer says yes. Marlene Saunders Sober says yes. Sankofa said yes. Melissa said yes. Michael Oliver, yes. Anthony Miguel, no. Ricardo Jeffers, no. CJ, no. Terrence Roach, no. Beauty Culture, yes. Carlisle Cupid says facts are stubborn. The data shows a clear increase, so I guess he's saying yes. Scorpion Pepper, most definitely yes. Michael Robinson says no. Ava Smith, yes. Marlene Saunders Sobers, okay. Yeah, sure, right. Magic, yes. Ricardo Jeffers, is it extrajudicial or self-defense? Well, you judge for yourself. There are some of those killings, Ricardo, including the one with the three young men down at Independence Square that we have never heard anything about since. Okay? Just remember those things. Wendy Ann James says she didn't vote. Andre says yes. James Kamau, yes. Anthony Atwell, yes. And Scorpion Pepper says thanks for showing the poll during the news. Wendy Ann James also voted yes. All right? So those are my votes. So Charles?
Yes. Okay. So Pauline says no. Sean says no. Brenda says yes. Captain Ron says no. Joseph Clement, yes. Frank out there in Aruka, who is now typing waiting on that. Frank, let me hear what Frank say. Frank says no.
You're two-finger typer.
Yeah. And Anand says no. And that's it.
All right, Richard, count and crumple.
All right, so our poll this morning, do you think there's an alarming increase in police killings? We had 38 people voting in the allotted time, and of the 38 people, 17 of you said no, you do not think there's an alarming increase in police killings, and 21 of you said yes, you do think there is an alarming increase in police killings. So the majority of it was pretty close at points, I would say. It was flicking back and forth between yes and no in the majority. But the yeas surged ahead by a bit. And in fact, the winners of this morning's vote, the people who voted yes, do you think there's an alarming increase in police killings? The majority of our voters says yes, they do think there's an alarming increase.
And just to qualify something, we did not ask if there are extrajudicial killings. We just said police killings. We never mentioned the word extrajudicial in there. All right?
No, you just asked, do you think there's an alarming increase? Yes or no? That's it.
Yes. We have no way of saying if they are extrajudicial.
No, that's it. Yeah, the yeas have it. In terms of the police killings.
Jeffrey! Jeffrey's in my pop, man.
Yeah. All right. So we're taking your calls all the way up to the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Yes, James Samuel. That is in fact true. It has increased since the calling of the second state of emergency. It has increased.
Okay, so we got callers online. So you ready for the callers?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I read a judgment on one of the recent drunk driving manslaughter accidents that caused the death of someone recently, and I was mortified. And the only conclusion I could come up with is that is why there is no deterrent to crime and criminal activities in Trinidad and Tobago. The judgment passed down by a magistrate, by a judge, whoever, was that the sentence was $10,000 and suspension of his license for 3 years. This is what a person's life is worth in 2025. But you doing the most, drink, no control of yourself or your actions, drink, drunk, drive, and cause the destruction of a family, because the death of any one individual in a family destroys a family, shakes the foundation of the family, and you are only fined no jail time whatsoever. You just fined $10,000 and you lost your license for 3 years. Crime could never done in Trinidad and Tobago if there is the consequences for these kinds of actions, because people are willing to take the chance and the risk if that is the sentences people get in for murdering somebody, killing somebody, to taking somebody's life.
Yeah, but the thing about
what was his charge, Lincoln? Was his charge vehicular manslaughter? I don't get that impression.
Well, the judge could only sentence on what the charges were brought before them. So I shudder to think if that was the only charge that was handed down. No, I did some investigation. To be fair, I did some investigation, and I heard something that I find to be very strange. Maybe it is possible. Maybe a lawyer could confirm what I'm hearing. That there may be other charges to follow, right? So I've never heard of one charge being disseminated and adjudicated on, and then there might be another charge later down the road. It may be something that is just I'm not aware about it, but I find this more serious charge, or all the charges should have been filed at the same time.
Same time, yeah.
But
That would be
definitely
usual.
more
That would be the
serious charge.
usual
If
thing.
it's coming in two parts, I find it to be very strange.
I think because they're still awaiting the post-mortem results. I think that's what I gather from the story.
I found it very strange that it was dealt with so quickly. Less than a week.
I just find it to be ridiculous and doesn't give the right message to potential drink alcoholics who want to drink and drive. It doesn't send you any kind of consequences at all.
Yeah, this incident happened August 8th, went to court August 12th, and verdict already. I find that amazing too.
Yeah, I found that $10,000. Even if you want to give that can't even help the family to even bury the person.
No.
Yes, everything wrong with that situation. Everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Patrick, good day to you.
Yeah, morning. Listen, Mr. Lincoln, I think that's all right.
Yeah.
You see, here what went on with that, right? The charge, man, when they hold you under the influence of alcohol, they are carried to court the next day. Because you have to do a breathalyzer, if they catch you over the limit, you go to court the next day. The magistrate tell the court the next day, they'll give you a fine and they will suspend your driver's permit. But they don't really rest. And they refer the file to the DPP.
Yeah, that was it. Just pending the post-mortem results. I saw that.
No, refer the file to the DPP. Is the DPP to make the assessment of charge of motor manslaughter.
Okay.
That's how them cases go.
Okay.
Right. Now, I was listening to something where the Honorable Prime Minister said about Caribbean Airline don't submit things for about 9 years. The secret board, a punching, a choco punching bagel. Why these big organizations not submitting the documents and everything, boy?
That's not abnormal.
Why they're not doing that, boy?
The Auditor General.
So how that could be normal? That can be normal. If I file my tax, they come down on me, and if I owe tax, the added interest on my tax. How that thing could be normal in a country? These big companies, right? Yeah,
it have bigger companies, it have bigger private enterprises doing the same thing too, and then calling the government nasty.
Well, all of them wrong. All of them wrong. All of them totally wrong. Because I listened, my partner with Invaders Bay making a certain statement. But you know the government took him something million in tax.
Yes, you're very right.
Listen, and if I owe in tax, you know they come down on me and they want to take my salary, right? Is this small man in this country that suffer, boy? We just always suffer in this country. Only have a pleasant weekend. And Tobago big thing in New York Sunday or whatever. You want to go, eh?
Tobago big thing or big two? Which one are you talking about?
A Tobago Day.
Tobago Day.
Yeah, Arimone is when? This weekend?
I ain't know when it's Arima Day, but I know
Arima Fest.
That'd be nice. The dialogue be up
about in Brooklyn?
Yeah, in Brooklyn, yeah.
Then Arimone is this weekend.
It'll be a nice thing.
Is either this
Hi,
weekend
Mr. Patrick, thanks.
No, next weekend is Arimone. Next weekend.
There you go, right now, Richard.
Yeah, so.
I remember that. So, and Penny went to some one of those days.
John.
Yeah, so they're keeping the thing alive. Caller, good day to you.
Richard organized 2 tickets.
I just wanted to come back on that thing that Lincoln spoke about with the person was suspended for 3 years and the 10,000. You're correct. What would happen now is that the other charges that would flow is causing death by dangerous driving, which is the modernization of vehicular manslaughter as it then was, right?
Okay.
And with that now, you could be given a sentence of imprisonment close to what you will get good news. I believe it's over 25 years, that kind of thing, right? But the thing that we have to move to is mandatory sentences for certain type of offenses, right? And I say that to say that we still allow our judicial officers to have discretion. So the statute would say 25 years imprisonment and a fine or a fine of, but it's still left to the judicial officer to impose. And then you also have to look at where someone pleads guilty. So regardless of the gravity of the offense, once they plead guilty, a certain level of deduction from whatever sentence may be imposed by a judicial officer is allowed to that person.
Okay.
Right? I believe if we must have mandatory sentences for certain type of offense for the effect, the retributive effect that you want to have against offenders to mean something. I mean, we all about rehabilitation and so on and things, but there must be a retributive effect as well. So I'm sure you gentlemen could recall the one where the truck had struck the small maxi down in the Mosquito Creek some years ago, and several persons died in that. And that matter took an extremely long time to be determined. You know, and the other feature of it now is that yes, people could go and seek the civil action remedy in court, right? But again, there is no benchmark to say, well, if X amount of persons were killed this way, that this is what you would get. So I think this is the feature that, you know, when you watch outside what we call other countries, some people will get massive payouts for deaths caused and things like these, tragedies like these, when the guilty party is sued otherwise. And that's what I'm saying. And you know, it's something that you can investigate. I recall some time ago, Minister Emwood had spoken to us about a fund that was established for victims of accidents. Maybe you can recall that was in one of the budget statements, where they said that under the control of accounts, a dedicated fund was set up in terms of something like no fault. So where there was no fault of victims of RTAs, there could be compensation to follow from that. It would be interesting if a follow-up could be done whether official at the Ministry of Finance or even the Minister of Finance. No, to find out if this was ever in fact actualized, and is it so for persons apart from the facility where victims of crime could seek compensation from the state that exists now, because I know that exists now, right? So that's one way that I believe that people could get some kind of comfort when tragedies like these happen.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
I think that's a similar situation that one of our people went through. Maureen Dilchan Maharaj, remember her story with her husband? Yeah, it was a similar story, and she took years. Well, and because of the story we read, that because of the inaction of a certain police officer, why her matter was dismissed, and then they had to bring it back. And then she eventually got some sort of compensation recently. Only recently she got it. Or I mean, I can't bring back her.
We were always interview on that entire story, you know, and we never have.
We never followed up on it. Things have been happening so fast. Anyway.
Paula, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. Norfolk, Virginia, front and center. I want to thank you all very much for having His Worship the Mayor on, I think it was 2 days ago, in a time warp here, sorry. Anyway, Balaram Maraj, I think gentleman's name was. And what I liked how he started the interview, he gave a historical perspective of the trade relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States. And he missed one little gap there, though, but that's okay. But he did mention that the Caribbean Basin Initiative, CBI, actually was enacted during done by Ronaldo Maximus, as we know him, Ronald Reagan of the Republican administration back in that time. And as a matter of fact, there are some goods, and I should have that data in my hand, but there are still some goods that still have CBI coverage when it's sent from Trinidad and anywhere in the Caribbean to the United States. But be sure, gentlemen, that this 15%, I don't agree with it, but remember, this is still negotiable. It's still a fluid situation. And and I hope that when Trinidad and Tobago sends a delegation to across the bridge to me here over in Washington, D.C., that His Worship the Mayor is included in that, because that man is definitely a national asset as far as someone who's on the pulse of what is going on economically in Trinidad and Tobago, and when it comes to food and trade and stuff. So just wanted to share that with you guys, and I got a nice little laugh when the former mayor was on, and he stated that when he spoke to His Worship the Mayor, Mr. Maraj, about contributing towards the festivities and stuff, and he said he will give. He said he'd give something like 100% of what he contributed.
10 times more.
Yeah, you all follow up on that.
Yeah,
Let's call it an allegation. I'm not saying it is a fact, but that really killed me when I heard that. Remember that when he said, "Yeah, I'll give 100%," and he said, "Yeah, and how much is that?" He said, "Well, what you gave, 0, 0." Not really 0. Anyway, guys, look, have a great weekend. And you guys take care. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Cheers.
And another former mayor messaged me too. He said back in the day when he asked if he get 2 cases solo. I think serious. Yeah, yes, I get 2 cases of solo.
So wait now, we can have the battle of the mayors coming down the road.
I mean, we're playing that some bacchanal mayors, no?
Which mayor is that, Wendell? Which mayor is that?
Which mayor is that? You really want me to do the man?
No, not on the air.
His brother
Message-
listens to this show all the time.
Message him privately, you know, he's a Rima boy too. Good morning, caller.
Hey, morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Morning,
Captain Rod in Orlando.
Yes, sir. Listen, pertaining to that judgment there, that accident when the person got killed in the accident, and the judge decision. I know. God forbid that was me. The people should appeal that decision and also sue the individual for like a civil lawsuit. I'm sure they can do it in Trinidad. It seems to me like only Trinidadians allow decisions to just be made and leave it like that. And you're going to use this as an example. Look at the Venezuelans who come into the country illegally, get locked up, and still sued and get a ton of money. But Trinidadians who are getting all kinds of stuff happening to them, they just take the decision and leave it like that. Look at the person, like you said, the kids that got locked up on that, what, $2-something million. So the people in Trinidad, the people of that situation, they need to get a lawyer, we appeal for it, and file a civil lawsuit against the individual as well, and against the government. That's what I would have done. Everybody getting sued. Anyway, y'all have a good weekend and be safe.
All right, Captain. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that is what Miss Dilchan Maharaj had to do eventually. She went that direction after.
Yeah. Do you recall? Can I play that video? I have the video. I have a video, not the video, but a video with that pastor.
Hold the video one moment. Caller? Yes, caller, go ahead.
Good morning again. I want to correct Mr. Captain Ron with a statement. Not the people at Trinidad doesn't sue, doesn't accept the thing. Poor people in Trinidad. Because the politicians and the very wealthy people, and I had that observation that when a case was pending for the last 15 years, this extradition case, but strangely, coincidentally, in the new the new regime of the UNC again, after he supported the UNC, all of a sudden, he get vindicated and his case might be dropped because and this happened in the United States and this. You cannot convince me that the judicial system is not manipulated by politics and politicians. There is nothing that can convince me that it's separate, and the justice system separate from the court, and the court separate from the judiciary and police. They are all intertwined, because when you see how justice is disseminated in this country, everything connected. Another cold case I would like to mention as we're talking about accidents. I remember a police officer was on a traffic, was on some highway construction. And I remember the description of the vehicle clearly. It was a white BMW, ran down the shoulder, bounced the police and kill him. And we never hear anything about that judgment for that case, for that incident. Which only proves to me that police really don't care about the police. Our police, they run out of the prison with guns and grenades. The police died subsequently. And we never get any justice about that. Right? They really don't care. I don't know when police don't realize that they don't.
Well, the people who were involved in that shooting, they were killed.
Somebody saying something?
I said the police, when that escape happened and that policeman died, the perpetrator was eventually killed, not so?
Two of them.
Two of them were killed.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the escapees
all
were
of them
killed.
were, I think it was about 3 of them that escaped. I think all of them were killed.
Yeah, they were
But
killed.
the inquiry to understand how prisoners got guns and grenades to satisfy this country, that the prison, well, we are still convinced now. We are more convinced now more than ever that something is drastically wrong in the prison system, right? And that probably explains why prisoners could break out of the prison with guns and grenades. So we have been in a worse place back then than we are now, right? And we didn't have a state of emergency then. If you follow what I'm saying.
Okay, thanks very much, Lincoln. Right, Richard, you can go ahead.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth shared a CNN video featuring a Christian nationalist pastor whose church believes women shouldn't be allowed to vote. The video focuses on Pastor Doug Wilson, co-founder of the Communion of Reformed Evangelical Churches, who believes that the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote, should be repealed.
My wife votes, my daughters vote, my daughter-in-law votes, my granddaughters vote. At the same time, I think that the 19th Amendment was a bad idea.
Hegseth reposted the CNN report and wrote, "All of Christ for all of life." Wilson has taken notice of Hegseth's comment.
He reposted it, and he himself said, "All of Christ for all of life," which is the tagline that we use. So he was, in effect, reposting it and saying amen at some level.
Wilson has a network of over 130 churches across the country and has recently opened a new one in Washington, D.C. And Hegseth has attended its first Sunday service, according to AP. Wilson believes the US should be a Christian nation where women are expected to submit to their husbands. He also thinks women shouldn't hold certain leadership positions or serve in combat roles.
Our issue is not a problem with the enfranchisement of women. Our problem is with the disenfranchisement of the household.
And Hegseth's opinions about women have also come under scrutiny, especially after he was accused of sexual assault. He has denied those accusations.
A small handful of anonymous sources were allowed to drive a smear campaign and agenda about me because our left-wing media in America today, sadly, doesn't care about the truth. All they were out to do, Mr. Chairman, was to destroy me.
Wilson doesn't shy away from the fact that his church is connected with people inside the Donald Trump administration.
This is the first time we've had connections with as many people in national government as we do now. But this is not an ecclesiastical lobbying effort.
The man say, this is not about the enfranchisement of women, but about the disenfranchisement of the household.
Yeah.
What the hell are you hearing?
Wendell, You hear stuff and you wonder sometimes. But that's crazy.
People, this is not 100-year-old video we're showing you, eh? This is recently. That video is recently. What madness! My God.
That's a recent thing, and it goes back to that video that I would have showed. I don't know if it was earlier this week or last week about religion, and how religion always oppresses women. All religions have done it, and some of the biggest adherents are women.
Yeah.
And the patriarchal society has done a lot of damage to women, in terms of psychologically and that submissiveness and there's some people who still believe that, and I'm sure that there's some men who still believe that in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, Richard.
That women, you should be in the household, you shouldn't be earning no money. I will take care of the house. You stay there, you cook and you wash clothes, and you don't have nothing to say. You have no opinions. The opinions of the household is my opinion. I might ask you if I feel like I have to take your opinion. That's basically what he's saying,
Richard,
when they say the household should vote, you're thinking an information age in 2025 that humanity will get better because you have so much more access to stuff, and in some pockets it's like it's getting worse.
Yeah, Richard, we were observing last time when we traveled to Africa from Senegal, coming back from Senegal. There was a couple in the line with us going through immigration and so on. And the woman could not look up. She had to look to the ground. She could not look anybody else in their face. And we were observing this and saying, what is this in this day and age? She could not look up. And if you see how submissive she was behind her husband, following him and doing everything, literally, if she had to take off his shoes, she would do that. But she couldn't look at another person in the eye.
It's crazy. I suppose with regard to Doug Wilson and whatever God he say he's serving.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
And just in case, Doug Wilson, you are by chance scrolling across YouTube and came upon us, this is for you.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
And just in case Peter's Get is also scrolling through YouTube and came upon us.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
For anybody else who thinks like that, Richard, give them a next one.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
So I think we've cleared it out.
Yes, we've covered everybody.
So now that you're clearing your conscience, let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning to you.
When I go back saying,
yes, sir, Mr. Patrick.
What that guy is saying there? It are millions of people in the world who believe that. It are millions of religious organizations who believe that. You see, the Western civilization religious people have a different view to certain religious practice from Eastern philosophy. If you go and do religious teachings and things, you realize even right in Trinidad have organizations who believe that same thing. You understand? So here what going on now. When you get married, you have to be careful of who you're going to get married to once they base themselves in certain religious belief system. It's happening today. It is modern society. It's happening. And that the people believe and the choice they say. You understand? I have a friend. I go to shake the man's wife hand. And she tell me she don't shake the man's hand.
Yeah, there are a lot of people can't shake
hands.
Don't shake hands.
And because that's a religious belief. I know people who join certain organization and they leave all the government jobs. I know people who don't use the bank system. I know people who don't travel in planes. People believe in that. So he is saying nothing wrong. I know men who wives have to stay home once they start with children. You understand? So that's where the world is. Everybody believes what they believe, brother.
You ever meet anybody who was, Mr. Patrick, you ever meet anybody who was abducted by aliens?
Well, I maybe meet you.
I do one person here meet because you meet everybody else. You know everybody else.
Mr. Patrick, have a good day.
We finally find somebody.
Somebody here meet. Yeah.
We meet everybody else.
By next week, he might come back and say, meet somebody.
You meet somebody over the weekend.
The man on the road, the man meeting people up there. Captain Ron, good morning.
Good morning again, gentlemen.
Morning.
I just want to comment and some of that stuff that's with the religious business. So it's just that some people take this submission out of context. The submission is still there in the Bible. Nobody never changed it. Only God can change that. But He never meant submission where you making all the decisions, like some people try to do. You understand? You and Richard, Wendell, like you said, what happened in Africa there? That's a norm. Just last week in Ethiopia, you see, the Muslim guys are allowed to marry 2 wives, 3 wives, right? And they're very submissive to them. They don't look at anybody else. I've seen it. They cover themselves up. All they can show is their eyes. That's a norm for them.
Yes.
Eritrea is just north of Ethiopia, which used to be part of Ethiopia. If any one of us, go there and get married, the law is you must marry 2, otherwise you get locked up. Now, if you have a wife already and you go there and you see somebody you want to marry and to get married to, and she refuses to allow you, she will get locked up. So if you want to get rid of your present wife, you can go there to Eritrea and get rid of her and pick up 2 more wives. That's the norm. So, and they follow their religious laws. But I think there's a lot of zealots in this world which take the word of God to the extreme, and that word submission, which a lot of the colonizers use, colonizing people in Africa. So it works all around. Yeah. That's what it is. But it's up to show that it's out of context. There are different parts of the Bible where women were exalted in the Bible working for God, and you never see the Lord advantaging a woman and taking away decisions from them. So they're wrong with this extreme submission word. That's all it is. It's people taking it out of context and taking it to the extreme. So they're what you call zealots.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, have a good one. Have a good one.
Thanks, Captain Ron. Yep.
What you're saying is that some submission is all right, but some submission is allowed, but not the zealot kind of submission, which is what is fundamentally wrong with religion. And religion, for many years, was political, and it's still political in many countries. And religious law is political law. And religion has always been governed by men. And so therefore, it has always favored men and that women be submissive to men. And that's what's wrong with religion. And even those books that you talk about, and they say, oh, it was written by men, inspired by God. It was written by men and translated by men who have a bias towards patriarchal societies and men. That's what religion is. That's questioning your belief to God. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but that's what those religious books teach.
Well, as I say, it is what it is.
Some people really, some people carry everything.
It is what it is, Sir Charles, but it was also your right to engage your grey matter and understand the perspective and understand where those books came from. They came from men.
And it is also people's rights also to hold on to what they know and what they believe in.
Exactly, but it's also your right to also say, look, this is what that indoctrination has done to you.
Yeah. I
have seen what religion. I have seen and experienced what religion can do to someone. Trust me.
Yes.
Caller.
A blessed good morning, Sir Charles, Richard and Wendell. Great program. I see Wendell put easy punisher now.
No, you make a mistake. The R is supposed to be a D. The R already supposed to be a D.
That typo.
Oh my
God.
But anyway, whoever you punish, then you put handcuff on it. But Fellas, great program. Great program. That clip we put there with that man talking about that. He living in 1802. This is 2025. Some women ain't taking them thing. Even say if you think that some women not, they ain't taking that. No. Unless you give me a salary like I will give like a 10,000 a month, well then they might submit. But to the clip that you played there with the little boy, you could play that again because some of them need to hear that. Play it, please. I could handle it. That little boy. Play it again for me.
You see, you
All
look
right,
at the
so your wish is right, man.
These guys.
Yeah. Your wish is
Abortion? Abortion? Abortion. Abortion.
We're supposed to be paying royalties to that child.
You can't get more innocence than that, eh?
Oh my God. Guys, just before we take the next call, I want to raise a little issue here that I found interesting. Just 2 days after the sister of the Point Fortin woman pleaded via the media with the authorities for the results of her sister's DNA, was somebody that they found that they thought was her sister. Just 2 days ago, guess what? Yesterday, the police come up with the results and saying, yes, it was her sister.
Oh.
2 years it took them, and I don't know if it's because she brought it to the media's attention. I don't know if it got the police commissioner vexed.
Yes, probably, Sir Charles. Why you guessing?
Yeah. And boom! Somebody went and take it out off of their desk. And it's now official. Yeah, so it was your sister. So if she had not made that plea and come to the media, that would be sitting on somebody's desk still. You see how it is work in this country? But it's get people to work. Sad. Inefficiencies all wrong. Caller, good morning. Caller?
Oh, yeah. Good morning again, gentlemen. Norfolk, Virginia, front and center. Hey, you see that Pete Hegseth, man? From the very, very beginning, and when it was rumored that Trump was going to make him defense secretary. Yeah, he decorated and everything, or whatever, when he was in the army as a special forces. But the point is, man, just because of his media connections and so on, but the guy was just bad news. And many of us were telling those rhino Republicans, the Republican in name only, that we wanted Tulsi Gabbard, who is currently Trump's intelligence chief, from Hawaii, and she too is former military. Well, anyway, but yeah, that Hegseth guy is a piece of work, man. And you know what? Captain Ron would know about this. When we look at the situation, the former head of Continental Airlines, like I call Gordon Bethune, worked his way from mechanic to be chairman, right? Remember when he popped his head, whenever he fly a Continental flight, he popped his head into the cockpit to say hello to the crew. And one guy looked at him and said, "What's the difference with you compared to the 9 guys who came on as chairman of the airline? What makes you so different?" And he looked on the guy's hand and he saw a wedding band. And he said, "I see you're married, right?" He said, "Yeah, heck, I'm on my 3rd marriage," the pilot said. He said, "Yeah, but what's the dominating recurring factor here? You. And if you ask anybody in any of your marriages who was the biggest jerk, I don't think it's any of your wives." So anyway, I just saying that, that guy is a piece of work, Hegseth. Anyway, thanks again, guys. Have a good weekend. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Virginia. Okay, so the lines are clear.
So we're taking your calls because this show is about you. We're taking your calls. You raise whatever you want. We're talking less today. And it's a great effort for Sir Charles and Wendell to shut up.
Especially for me. Trust me. Among the things I want to say. Oh, Lord. Every time I want to tell my story, though, it's getting delayed. So people just have
You have a story to tell?
Plenty. I have 2, especially.
Captain Ron is back with us. Captain Ron.
Yeah, listen, I just wanted to add to, as Richard was talking about religion, I'm a Christian now. I'm an Orthodox Ethiopian Christian. But I'm not religious because I've been taught the difference, and this is what people need to try to find out, the difference and learn the difference between religion and Christianity. Now, Richard was very right. Religion is man's ways to God, so they're very extreme and it's dangerous. That's religion. They do whatever they feel and they have to do to be righteous. Christianity is God's way to man. Trust in God's finished work on Calvary. Trust in that. That's all you got to do. Trust Him at His word. See God's kingdom and His righteousness, not your righteousness. And that is religion. Religion is our righteousness. This is why He said, all of our righteousness in Isaiah is as filthy rags. Until I understood what that meant, I thought of, when He says all of our righteousness is filthy rags, I thought was our best behavior. The filthy rags is what He's talking about. He's comparing our best behavior to long ago. Women didn't have tampons, they used rags in the monthly time. So that's how our best behavior is in the eyes of God. And men are still holding on to this submission nonsense and trying to make themselves righteous. And you know, this is what's all about. Richard, you're very right. Religion is evil. Very evil. Be Christian. Serve God. Accept what He did. That's it. God is looking for trust, not perfection. All right, guys. Again, all the best.
I always say, if I was a God, let's go down that road. If I was a God, I'm not writing no big set of books with all kinds of learnings and all kind of rules to keep. It's just a basic message I will give you. Don't hurt anyone intentionally. Be kind and help when you can.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I have two. I will just add, I will say mine differently. Don't be selfish and always be ungrateful. You understand? I'll use those words. Don't be selfish and always be, and don't be ungrateful.
Yeah. So, help when you can, be kind, and don't hurt anybody intentionally. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need 10 books written by men to tell me what to do. Come on. I'm irritating a lot of very religious people, but
Yes, Mr. Patrick, you're back with us. I realize that there are a lot of the female callers are missing this morning.
I listen to everybody talk about religion and Christianity. Religion and Christianity are two different things. And Christianity right now, nowhere written in the Bible they're going to talk about Christians. Christian is a man-made philosophy. The correct way is the way of God. And nothing like a Christian and a religious. Religion can be anything you believe is a religion. Anything you believe could be your religion. Nice? But women holding on to a control and men holding on to submission. That's what the war is. Men want submission, women want to control. And that's what the big war going on between man and woman. Only have a pleasant weekend.
Okay, Mr. Patrick, thank you so much.
I don't agree with you. I don't think that women want control. I just think that a lot of women are aspirational to what they could not achieve before and breaking those different ceilings. But I wouldn't phrase it as women want control. That comes across kind of sexist.
But what if they want control?
Yeah, but because, in other words, you're trying to say, in other words, men want control, so now women want control.
Yeah.
And it's not that. It's just women are aspirational to the career paths, to what they could not have, what was closed off for them before. They could even vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the 19th Amendment that man is talking about there, that he think was a bad idea, is the right of women to vote. To vote. Understand that the right of a woman to vote is a discussion in 2025. Your right to go inside a booth and say, no, I disagree or I agree with this person. And then saying, Jesus, God, and amen.
That is where the danger really is.
Give me a break.
The danger is not so much in what people want or how people want to live their life, but is in adding God to the thing. That's why they're doing it. But that's why they're saying it.
Because it tries to give legitimacy to the rot that they're perpetuating.
Yep.
And when you say God say, or Jesus say, or Bible say, there are many people that will start to see it not as rot.
Yes.
Which it is,
yes.
but it starts to become a little colored and varied in their minds.
Yes.
Well, if Jesus said it, or if the Bible said it, maybe there is some justification.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so we're bordering on 8 o'clock, so we will be back shortly, people. Stay with us, and when we come back, we'll put a wrap on it for today.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio. I'm Derek. Economist Dr. Indira Seguin Ali is urging the energy sector to stop nitpicking and get behind the billion-dollar deal between the Trinidad and Tobago government and ExxonMobil. She says with the country's oil and gas resources dwindling, any access to new reserves is better than nothing, and the agreement brings benefits, including a $12 million signing fee, seismic studies, and $21 billion in planned exploration investment. Dr. Seguin Ali says few companies have the capacity to tap deep water resources, and Exxon's involvement could draw more bidders. She also believes Trinidad and Tobago's decades of experience mean the government likely struck a better deal than Guyana did. The Energy Chamber also welcomed the contract, saying consolidating several offshore blocks will reduce risk and speed development, while calling for continued reforms to attract investment. 2 years after a decomposed body was found on a Chatham beach, DNA results have confirmed it was missing Point Fortin woman, Averson Miller. Police and an officer from the Forensic Science Center delivered the news Thursday to Miller's eldest child, ending a long wait for answers. Miller's sister, Kelazonda Grant, had pleaded with authorities just 2 days earlier to release the results, saying the family had endured more than 2 years of uncertainty. Miller disappeared in July 2023, and Grant always believed the remains found a week later were hers. The body was too decomposed for visual identification, so tissue samples were taken from relatives for testing. Grant says she is relieved to finally have closure, but saddened by the confirmation. She says the family can now lay Miller to rest in the proper way someone should be buried. San Fernando East MP Brian Manning is warning that Trinidad and Tobago is heading for a self-inflicted recession, blaming the government's policies and a worsening shortage of foreign exchange. Speaking at a PNM public meeting in Pleasantville Tuesday night, the former minister in the Ministry of Finance said recent U.S. tariffs will intensify the foreign exchange crunch, pushing the country toward a devaluation of the TNT dollar. Manning accused the government of misleading the public about the cause of the shortage, saying supply constraints, not bias in distribution, were to blame. He also claimed the administration's honeymoon period was over, warning the opposition would not sit idly by while jobs were lost and vulnerable citizens left without support. Manning took aim at union leaders now aligned with the government and criticized the termination of thousands of CPEP and forestry workers' contracts. He also condemned the Prime Minister's past remarks about the country becoming a nation of grass cutters, calling them disrespectful. The Trinidad and Tobago National Nursing Association is defending the nurse involved in the care of 6-year-old Jasher Francois, who died earlier this month at the San Fernando Teaching Hospital. In a statement Tuesday, the association said the nurse followed all professional instructions and performed duties to an appropriate standard, given what it called systemic constraints in healthcare. It commended her professionalism and adherence to protocol. The TTNNA said magnesium sulfate administration requires strict monitoring, but safe staffing ratios make this difficult when nurses are assigned multiple critically ill patients. The group renewed its decades-long call for legally mandated patient-to-staff ratios, noting Health Minister Lakram Bodo's recent pledge to fill 1,800 nursing vacancies. The association also warned of a crisis shortage of specialized pediatric nurses and urged urgent action to expand training. A 4-member expert committee is investigating Jasher's death alongside an SWRHA probe. A second autopsy found he suffered a sudden, severe heart problem while receiving IV medication. His funeral is set for Saturday in San Fernando. In the region, the United States is sending more air and naval forces to the southern Caribbean Sea to counter what it says are threats from Latin American drug cartels. Reuters reports the Pentagon was ordered to prepare options after former President Donald Trump pushed for tougher action against gangs, now designated as global terrorist organizations. The move follows months of stepped-up U.S. military surveillance and the earlier deployment of 2 warships for anti-drug patrols. One source said the operation targets narco-terrorist groups seen as threats to U.S. national security. In February, the Trump administration labeled Mexico's Sinaloa cartel, Venezuela's Tren de Aragua, and other groups as global terrorist organizations, part of a wider crackdown on drug trafficking and border crime. Internationally, Israel's far-right finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, says plans to build more than 3,000 homes in a contested West Bank settlement will bury the idea of a Palestinian state. The E1 project between Jerusalem and Ma'ale Adumim has been frozen for decades due to international opposition. But Smotrich says connecting the settlement to Jerusalem is Zionism at its best. Critics say the plan would split the West Bank and East Jerusalem, making a future Palestinian state impossible. The US, UN, EU, and UK have urged Israel to halt the project, calling it illegal under international law. Palestinian officials denounced it as part of a broader policy of annexation, while Israeli rights groups warn it will fuel more violence. Smotrich insists no Palestinian state will ever be recognized. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair. We do it all.
Finally, a line of baking products that caters for the gluten-free, cholesterol-free, egg-free, and dairy-free person, enriched with sesame, flax meal, and chia seeds. Also try our line of seasonings and spices that are ideal for diabetic, kidney, heart, colon, and hypertensive persons. Perfect for the whole family. Healthy, oh, the healthier way to go. Find it in a supermarket near you.
San Fernando, get ready. The Roadie one-man show is coming to the Southland. Sunday the 17th of August at Sapa. Tickets available at all K-Squared locations. Aquilise by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street, and San Fernando. Sapa box office from the 14th of August and Island e-tickets online. For more information and box office inquiries, call 682-0467 or 683-4843. This show is strictly 18 years and over. The Roadie one-man show is heading to the Southland.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box. Drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
So we are back. I don't know why that happens. Just a second. Yeah, there we go. So we are back, of course. Well, I think Wendell had to duck out.
Yeah, Wendell had to leave.
So we are still here as we wrap up the breakfast show for this morning. As we hit the weekend, because the weekend has begun. It's Friday, so there should be a smile on your face wherever you are on planet Earth, whether it's nighttime, whether it's early morning, whether it's afternoon or evening, wherever you are on the planet. It's still Friday. Some of you might be going into Saturday morning already. But you know what? It's the weekend wherever you are. And you can enjoy. Relax, do what you want. Go out with friends.
The weekend gives you that opportunity to do a lot of things, huh?
Yeah. Gives you that time. You can still take a couple of calls before we head to 8:15. If
people would like to call us very quickly, we have a couple minutes to spare. So 281-1315.
We can take a couple of calls, and that's it. Yes, we head towards 8:15 a.m. on this Friday morning.
Yeah, good morning to Stick Money Grip. Stick Money Grip, you're coming in kind of late today. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but just to add back to that conversation that we were having there, Richard. You see, if you want to call it a healthy society, right? I mean, there's room for both. People have the right to advocate for change, and people have the right to hold on to their convictions. I think the real challenge really is getting everyone to agree, but in learning how to listen to each other, to respect each other, understand one another. And I think we can strongly disagree, but yet we have to be able to treat each other with dignity. And not because we disagree means that we have to wipe each other off the map. And I get the feeling some people, because people see things differently, want to wipe you off the map. I think there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody in the space. People will have, their difference of opinions, but at the end of it all, we can still exist in this space in a decent way. So, okay, it seems like I have lost everybody. All right, so I am. Hold on.
You didn't really lose me. You were talking, so I was allowing you to talk.
Okay. I thought I lost you on the feed also now. So yeah.
No.
I'm saying, we have room for everybody. People can disagree, but we don't have to wipe each other off the map. And we have that call coming in. So let me take it quickly. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Morning, Diego Martin.
Richard and Wendell. Lord, I've been calling. You're saying a woman ain't calling. I calling, but it just saying all call the voicemail full.
Yeah, when you get in that, you must call on the WhatsApp.
I am trying to understand how the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Guevara, could say crime has reduced by 43%, and yet still there are so many robberies every morning is a murder. Imagine in a police station, a man go to fix a AC unit and thief the camera. Yes. Commissioner of Police explain that. This is crazy. And then you have these two Venezuelans come in our country to hold up a taxi driver in Pinal and rob him. Man, and then Camilla talking about she said she was going to deport them and like she trying to renege on it. What is really going on? Come on, man, Prime Minister, get these Venis out who commit crime in our country, man. We have enough local crime of our own to have Venis, hasn't it? Nah, man. Anyway, y'all try and be safe and careful who all you allow in all your house to do work. Bye.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Well, that alone is to tell you the extent of the amount of crime that it have on outside there. Because if the police statistics are going down in some areas, and you are still seeing, we are all seeing and feeling the effects of crime still, we have real work to do.
Anyway, this is where we close off the show. We know we are a little late because you took that call so late. But so the breakfast show is now at an end. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. Remember, the Smile and Laugh is great for your health. New Era TT Radio continues on the stream and continues with programming throughout the day. And on TuneIn, you can also get New Era TT Radio and on your smart devices. This has been the Breakfast Show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned.